Who do you want to be in 5 years? What kind of wife do you want to be? What kind of mom do you want to be? What kind of career person do you want to be? What kind of individual do you want to be that has to live in your own dang head every day? Because I can tell you with 100% certainty that there is nothing like inner peace. It sucks. When you're the kind of person that compares yourself everywhere you go, I can tell. I can tell by your eye contact. I can tell by the way that you talk. I can tell by the way that you walk. I can tell by everything. There's no hiding from that. Hey everybody, Coach Megan, and welcome to this episode of the podcast where we're going to be talking about how to actually improve your mindset. Part 2, how to stop comparing yourself. So obviously a huge part of pageantry is being next to some of the most innovative, talented, beautiful, tall and skinny, whatever type women in the world. And what's interesting is that normally in any non-pageant scenario, these individuals would probably either be your best friend or your worst enemy. But when you put them inside of a pageant and you lock people into a kind of a cage-like scenario of an auditorium for sometimes up to 3 weeks, right? Then what happens is what was always on the inside of you internally starts to come out externally. And one thing that I've always said is that my goal at Powerhouse Pageantry as, the leader is that people would know Powerhouse girls as the fiercest competitors as well as the softest hearts and the nicest people. Because when you learn how to stop comparing yourself, you realize that wherever you go, there you are, and you can be yourself. And when you're healed on the inside, what comes out when you're squeezed? Lemons produce lemon juice, limes produce lime juice, oranges produce orange juice. So I ask you the question, what kind of person are you? What kind of fruit are you? What kind of person are you? And instead of a lot of times blaming the circumstance or the girl or these different things, I would submit to you to challenge yourself on that and say, no, am I expecting the sweetness of a beautiful dark summer cherry to come out when really I'm kind of tart on the inside? I'm a little prickly. I'm a little edgy. I'm a little bitter. I'm a little burdened. I'm a little triggered. I don't necessarily trust people. And, it's really interesting because two people walking down the same road can see two completely different worlds. If you're an eternal optimist, you can walk down the streets of New York City and see massive opportunity. If you're more of a realist, as they would call themselves, they'd walk down and they're like, man, this city smells really bad. There's trash everywhere. There's homeless people. I want to go live out in the country, right? Man, this place is so expensive. It sucks, right? Those people are looking at the same exact place, but their mindset is what is determining their outcome. So if you are struggling with comparing yourself, know that it actually has less to do with that person and it has more to do with, are you a cherry or a lime? And what you are in control of, sweet friend, is what you can be doing right now before you're in that pageant setting to be renewing your mind and washing your mind with the type of thing that you want to become. It's why they say readers are leaders. It's why we talked about integrity last week. If you didn't hear that, go watch it, go listen to it. And it's why we're doing this 3-day challenge coming up before our giant Black Friday offer, is because I can help you with walking patterns till you're blue in the face. But if you're really looking at what is going to produce long-term results of being somebody who no longer compares herself, which, can we just be real with each other? Like, it sucks. When you're the kind of person that compares yourself everywhere you go, I can tell. I can tell by your eye contact. I can tell by the way that you talk. I can tell by the way that you walk. I can tell by everything. There's no hiding from that. So people always want the quick fix and the magic key and the secrets and all these different things. And those are great. Those are great. But who do you want to be in 10 years? Who do you want to be in 5 years? What kind of wife do you want to be? What kind of mom do you want to be? What kind of career person do you want to be? What kind of individual do you want to be that has to live in your own dang head every day? Because I can tell you with 100% certainty that there is nothing like inner peace. There's nothing like waking up every day and being like, cool. I'm going to go do a podcast in a t-shirt that I was planning on changing out of. And then I decided to paint my room instead because we're doing an office overhaul. I have no makeup on. I got my hair done yesterday, so my hairline looks crazy because, when you have dark hair, they like paint it on your scalp basically. And I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling inspired. Let's do a podcast about pageants to pageant people. And some people would be like, oh my gosh, I don't look perfect. They're going to judge me. I'm like, dude, judge me by the content of my character. Good luck. Like, you're going to receive something from this. Why would I care what I look like when I can just have you listen to, I know what I'm saying is going to help you if you do it. Like we talked about last week, are you a researcher or an action taker, right? And of course, there are times to really care about what you look like. Obviously, don't walk into a gala with flip-flops and swim trunks on, But how often do we overthink things? And I just want to encourage you guys to remember that pageants are an echo chamber. I'll never forget when I was done with Miss USA. I gave up my crown as Miss Nebraska USA, and I was like, dude, I'm not wearing fake eyelashes for years. Now, did I? Yes. But I was so exhausted, even though, it was COVID year, but I just remember feeling sometimes like I had to put on a suit of this person who cared way more than I did, if I'm being completely honest, about what other people thought of me. Because I hadn't done pageants for 6 years, right? And building a company. And when you step out of the box of pageantry, you guys, people just don't care as much. It's this you-know-what contest of who's skinnier, who has more shinier hair, who has all these things. And that matters for a season. And you need it to win. You do, okay? We're playing the game. That's what I always say. You got to know the rules of the game, and if you want to win, you got to know the rules of the game. But let me tell you, it's kind of like when you turn 30 and you realize you're not in your 20s anymore, and you're like, no, I don't want to go out. I want to sit on my couch with my 3 friends, and I want to watch a rom-com that we comment on, and we all take 3 months to even hang out because someone's halfway across the world, somebody else is in medical school, one's having a baby, and we're busy. Those, you know what I mean? And so we just need to get together and hang out because it's real life. And I don't care if I'm in sweatpants because my guard's down and I'm me and I'm enough, So I want you to dream about part of learning how to not compare yourself. Can you sit in a room with your own dang self and just be content and be happy? Are you wearing masks in other parts of life? I used to live in the South, and I swear, everybody in Nashville is trying to make it, obviously. Cool, love it, was there. But are you every day literally practicing the opposite of what you're trying to grow in by feeling like you can't leave the house without a full face of makeup? You can't go on a date without fake eyelashes. These different things. And I'm like, that's fine. That's some of your vibe. But do you have to do that? Are you compelled by this thing that's you're not enough if you don't do that? Are you kidding me? When I was in Nashville, I had a friend that I went to church with that her boyfriend had never seen her without her wig on and her fake eyelashes and a full face of makeup, even if they were hanging out at home. And they've been dating for 3 years. And I was like, homegirl, love that for you. But we talked and I was like, well, is this the real you? And if it is, cool. But how do you feel about that? And she's like, I'm exhausted. And I was just like, what happens if you get married one day and then you take all the stuff off and now he feels like you're a different person because you are? That's not fair to anybody. First of all, you're exhausted. This isn't working for you. And B, he's falling in love with somebody that isn't even a real person, which is exhausting, So all this to say, it pays to be congruent, to be integral, and to figure out how to live as the highest version of yourself. Don't get me wrong. I know how to look hot. I know how to put my lashes on. I know how to go to the gym. I know how to lose 5 pounds if I need to in a healthy way. But I'm not doing it because somebody else told me to. I'm doing it because I have a goal. And I like to be the head and not the tail. I like to be the leader. And when I set my mind on something, I'm going to win. I'm going to do it. And I'm doing it because I want to, not because I have to, not because I'm forced to, not because I feel less than if I don't, but I chose to play this game, and so I'm going to play to win, And I don't wear like a mask every single day. Like I'm not going to reorient my whole Instagram to now look like I'm a person who wears fake eyelashes every single day of my life, even when I'm going to the gym, if that's not who I am. Again, if that's my vibe, cool. But there have been vibes of people to win Miss America and Miss USA that have not been like that. And I think so often we compare ourselves because we see one person who did one thing and we're like, well, that's clearly what works. I'm like, well, maybe because that was authentic to them. And that congruency and that integrity was attractive to judges and attractive on stage because they didn't have to wear a mask to perform that way because that's who they really are, right? So ask yourself that question, like, where am I putting on masks that are actually causing me to compare myself because I feel like I'm a robot in a simulation, or I feel like I'm not being true to myself, and it's exhausting me and it's causing me to always be second guessing and ping-ponging what I'm doing. Whereas you could ask a better question and say, okay, God, what is the sexiest, most beautiful, authentic, wonderful, charismatic version of myself that is honoring to my morals, my integrity, and to the goals of which I'm headed, and also can win? And that's a powerful question. And submitting that and saying, okay, I'm going to take the blinders off of thinking that I need to be anybody else. Now, can I extract data from things that are working? 100%. Can I extract data from understanding that if I do this in a certain way, there is a formula to what wins? Absolutely. But you always need to filter it through, who am I? What are my values? What's my platform? What's my mission? What am I willing to do and not willing to do to win this thing? And then also the other thing is we compress timelines so quickly. Why our Pageant Academy is a year is very intentional, because I want to be with you through all 4 seasons. Like January, everybody breaks up with people in January. It's like they get through the holidays, they don't want to be alone. And then right before Valentine's Day, everybody's breaking up. And I got people crying, all these things. It's happened to me. Like December, I swear, I always went through breakups. Anyways, and summer, right? We travel, we laugh, the sun's out, we're walking outside, we're getting more vitamin D, totally different season. We're in off pageant season, right? And so there's different conversations and different coaching conversations necessary for different seasons. There's different things that you go through, right? Seasons don't last forever. We need to make adjustments for the physical seasons in the same way that we don't wear the same thing in the summer that we do in the winter, right? And so mindset wise, we need to continue to make adjustments for our prep. And so what I've seen is that a lot of people will compress their prep into like 2 or 3 months, and then they wonder why they're stressed out. I'm like, well, homegirl, you went from 0 to 3,000, and cars don't go that fast, and it will break if you try it, right? You're going to run into something. So you either need to, this is actually a good analogy, you either need to upgrade to a plane, which is meant to go much faster, right? Not 3,000 miles, but 700 miles an hour, and is built for that and can sustain that and has the symptoms and the infrastructure for that. Otherwise, you're going to break. You're going to break. Your mindset's going to break. Your body's going to break. Your will's going to break. Your relationships are going to break because you can't juggle it all. You didn't build it, right? And so that's where we are so passionate at Powerhouse to support people. Why do I keep doing free podcasts? And why will I keep doing it? Because it matters to me. I want to help build your foundation until you're ready to come into the fold, until you're ready to join the Powerhouse Club or the Pageant Academy or Pageants in Politics or one of our mini courses or whatever, you know? And that time's right for you whenever it's right for you. But I want to keep pouring out the kind of what we call top of funnel in business, which is all the things that even get you ready to make that decision for yourself in the first place. So last thing that I'll say there with that is don't crunch yourself under too short of timelines that like you're just going to break because it's too much, you know? Give yourself a little bit of time to like ease into these goals and to build up the stamina for something that maybe you are trying to go from not winning a local ever to wanting to win Miss USA. Okay, give yourself a year. You know, do your research, like, and then take action bit by bit rather than like, oh my gosh, the pageant's in a month, I need to lose 20 pounds. Like, you're not going to be healthy. You're just not. Your mindset's going to be trash. You're probably going to isolate all your friends and then you're going to regret it. Your relationships will suck. You're probably going to underperform at work or school because you can't juggle 17 hats at the same time. You just can't, you know? And so we want to help people be healthier as they're prepping for pageants and win. So with that being said, we have an amazing Black Friday challenge coming up called the How to Win Your Pageant Challenge, how to slay something and sparkle on stage. And I'm going to go through 3 different days of one of our frameworks, again, of teaching you the biggest things that I've just found that people take for granted, and some of the secrets that you just don't know that really consistently have helped our clients to win pageants. We have 6 people going to Miss America this year. We had 2 or 3 people going to Miss USA. I'm really proud of that. People who have achieved their lifelong dreams. And at the end of those 3 days, it's totally free. We're going to be giving away our biggest Black Friday bundle ever, thousands and thousands of dollars of free coursework and coaching materials, and also a pretty significant discount on one of our other, I'll call it a program/event, if you know what I'm talking about. Wink, wink. Okay. So you don't want to miss it. I'm only letting 300 people into the challenge. And then, the first 50 people that grab this offer are going to grab this offer. So it's going to be amazing. Invite your friends, invite your teen, invite your mom, whatever. And it's going to be great. So just click the link below to be a part of that. And I can't wait to pour into you guys over 3 days, beginning of November. And with that, I'll see you guys next week.